I am now sitting in front of Takeo Temple waiting for my guests. They climb up these themselves. So the most common misconception of tourists or travelers about the Angkor temples is that they believe that every temple is inside Angkor Wat, and those temples are part of the mini Wats. So actually Angkor Wat is just one temple only that was built in the 12th century, and the rest of the temples are outside Angkor Wat, and these were built from 9th century to 13th century. So the park is about 400 square kilometers, and there are hundreds of temples in the park. You can visit the temple in multiple days if you want to. We've got the ticket sale from 1 day pass to 3 days to 7 days. So there are 3 types of passes that you can get to visit these temples. So it's a 1 day pass. It's $37 in USD. There are no 2 day passes, only 3 day and 7 days. So the 3 day it's $62, and the 7 days $72. And this just one pass. It covers the whole area of the park. So you don't need to buy separate ticket for each temple. It may feel a bit pricey when you hear the price, like $37. You would be like, why is it so expensive? But actually, it covers the whole park. It's not just one temple. It's not just for Angkor Wat. It's for every temple in the park. Imagine if we sell each ticket, like if we sell tickets separately for each temple, I'm sure you'll end up paying a lot more money than the pass. But I understand that, because when we buy a temple pass, you may have the pressure of seeing everything in 1 day because you want to save the money. And then you feel like, wow, it's so tiring because there's so many temples, it's so hot. But if you sell the tickets separately, you may want to just buy one ticket for this temple today, go back to hotel, relax, or see the town. The next day, come again for another temple, you buy another ticket. That may save you and also encourage you to stay longer in Siem Reap. And this you don't have to do everything in 1 day. So for this, it's more understandable. But in terms of the temple pass, the price, it's relatively affordable. If you have very short time, a perfect day trip would be start with Angkor Wat, the largest religious temple. Second, Ta Prohm Temple, where Tomb Raider was filmed. Third one, Angkor Thom complex. Inside Angkor Thom, there are lots of temples. But within Angkor Thom, I have a favorite temple. I'm not going to mention which temple. I'll keep that one for my guests only. And Bayon Temple. Bayon is one of the main one that you must see when you are in Siem Reap. So the 3 main temples that you have to see is, that you should see Angkor Wat, Ta Prohm, and Bayon Temple. But on the way from, like, in this loop, these 3 temples are in the small loop. So in this loop you can stop to see many temples you want, but also you need to save your energy for the 3 main temples. It can get really hot in the afternoon. You may not enjoy it as much. The other way, if you don't want to start at sunrise, which I highly recommend it, start as early as possible to avoid the heat. But you may feel tired at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So you may start at 6 o'clock from the hotel, visit Ta Prohm Temple, the first one. You'll be the only tourist at that temple at 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning. And then continue to Bayon Temple, and then you go back home for lunch, relax a bit. At 3:30, come back to Angkor Wat, because now Angkor Wat closes at 6:30 in the evening. So it means that you have time to stay there longer until sunset. So you can keep Angkor Wat in the evening when the heat comes down a little bit in the afternoon. Most tourists come to Siem Reap for only 2 nights. So some people 1 night, like many people come here for 1 night, which I think, is it worth the price of flight ticket to Siem Reap? You have to, like, if you spend a lot of money, why not stay here a bit longer to experience it fully, not just fly in, see the temple and fly back. And I met a lot of people who just fly into Siem Reap in the morning, see Angkor Wat, rush through and then fly back. Like, for what? Why would you do that? It's not worth it. And then when you go back, you go, oh, I only come to Siem Reap for 1 day, but I end up spending a lot of money, like up to $500 in 1 day. Yeah, of course, because you fly in, maybe from Thailand or from Vietnam, and then from the airport to Siem Reap, private taxi, and then you have a tour guide with you, and then you have to pay for the temple pass. Then the taxi need to take you back to the airport, and then you fly out. So, of course, you end up paying maybe close to $500 in one day in Siem Reap. But what if you stay here for a week? It's really cheap. So decide for yourself.